Welcome to Summary of the Week, your quick guide to the top headlines. Today is Saturday, July 19th. Here's a recap of some of the major events this week. A surprise legal move against one of Ukraine's top anti-corruption figures is rattling civil society. On Friday, authorities charged Vitali Shabunan, head of the Anti-Corruption Action Center and an active-duty soldier, with evading military service and fraud. Investigators raided his military unit in Kyiv and his family's home in Kyiv, seizing phones and documents. Officials claim Shabunan failed to report for duty, but he says he's angered people in power because of his anti-corruption work. In a Telegram post, Shabunan accused President Zelensky of taking the first but confident steps toward a corrupt authoritarianism. Russian forces launched a wave of overnight attacks from Friday night into Saturday morning, impacting Chernivtsi, Lviv, Lutsk, Kirovohrad, Kharkiv, and Kyiv. According to local officials, in the Chernivtsi region, the missile and kamikaze drone attacks killed 2 women, aged 26 and 45, and 2 men, aged 43 and 65. A Russian military order to decapitate Ukrainian POWs and display their heads was reportedly intercepted by Ukrainian officials. Ukrainian military intelligence, HOR, said Saturday that the order was issued by a field commander in Russia's 155th Separate Marine Brigade on July 2nd. The intercepted communication reportedly included the instructions, cut off the head and impale it on a pike. The 155th, which HOR describes as one of Vladimir Putin's favorite units, has been linked to multiple alleged war crimes such as executions and torture. On July 2nd, Ukraine's defense forces reportedly killed the brigade's commander, Colonel Serhiy Ilyin, in a strike on the unit's headquarters in Russia's Kursk region. On Monday, U.S. President Donald Trump delivered a much-anticipated major announcement. The key takeaway: the U.S. could soon send new defense aid to Ukraine, including Patriot missile systems, which are critical to intercepting Russian missiles that threaten Ukrainian cities. There's also talk that Tomahawk missiles might be sent. But Trump was clear: America isn't footing the bill. Instead, U.S. allies, particularly European countries like Germany, would buy the weapons and could then deliver them to Ukraine if they wanted to. Trump also gave Russia a 50-day deadline to agree to a ceasefire. If it doesn't, Trump warned, the U.S. will impose 100% secondary tariffs, targeting the countries that continue buying Russian oil. With Trump giving Putin another 50 days to play nice, the U.S. Senate hit pause on a 500% tariff bill. This also triggered a bump in the ruble and in the Russian stock market. Reactions have been divided. Supporters hailed it as a bold shift. Critics questioned the logic of giving Moscow 50 more days to kill Ukrainians. Russia, meanwhile, was dismissive of Trump's announcement. Dmitry Medvedev, deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council, called Trump's announcement theatrical. In a video streamed live on YouTube Monday, the Bureau of Economic Security's hiring commission pushed back against government pressure to restart the selection process for their new director. The cabinet of ministers had rejected the commission's choice, Alexander Svyrydenko, citing concerns over his father's Russian citizenship. But many see this as political interference. Having a Russian father didn't stop the commander-in-chief of Ukraine's armed forces, Alexander Svyrydenko, from getting his position, for example. Some in civil society are saying that Svyrydenko, known for leading major corruption probes, may be seen as too independent by Zelensky's government. Ukrainian cyber units hacked Haskar Integration, one of Russia's top drone suppliers, wiping 47 terabytes of data and paralyzing operations, including locking factory doors, sources told Kyiv Post on Tuesday. Among the stolen data is confidential personnel files and technical documentation relating to drone manufacturing, which HOR says it has handed over to Ukraine's defense experts. Russian forces struck Ukrainian civilians again Wednesday with a missile strike on a shopping district in the town of Dobropilya near the eastern front line, killing 2 and injuring 27, and a drone attack on Dnipro, killing 1 and wounding several others. Ukraine unleashed a massive drone assault on 11 Russian regions in response, hitting airfields and disrupting air traffic across the country in one of the largest cross-border strikes of the war. In Russia, a new law which takes effect on September 1st will fine Russians simply searching banned content online, even if they use a VPN to do it. This is part of a growing effort to contain public dissent as the war bleeds deeper into daily life. The fine would range from $35 to $60 for intentional searches of materials the government deems to be extremist on the internet. Ukraine's parliament, the Verkhovna Rada, appointed Yulia Svyrydenko as the country's new prime minister during Thursday's session. The vote is part of a sweeping government reshuffle initiated by President Zelensky. Svyrydenko, 39, previously served as deputy prime minister and minister of economy. She was at the forefront of recent negotiations with Washington, signing the minerals deal with the U.S. on May 30th. Former Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal will take on the role of defense minister. Former defense minister Rustem Umerov will become Secretary of Ukraine's National Security and Defense Council. Pending parliamentary approval, Olha Stefanishina, the Deputy Prime Minister for European and Euro-Atlantic integration, will become the new ambassador to the U.S. European Union countries on Friday approved a new package of sanctions against Russia over its ongoing war in Ukraine. This is the 18th round of sanctions since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. It includes lowering the price cap on Russian oil exports from $60 to $45 per barrel. The new package bans transactions with Russian gas infrastructure, including the Nord Stream pipelines, and it targets banks suspected of helping Russia circumvent existing sanctions. The EU may also blacklist 77 tankers belonging to the so-called shadow fleet, vessels used by Russia to dodge oil sanctions. The latest measures were delayed for weeks due to objections from Slovakia and Hungary, both of which are heavily reliant on Russian energy. The breakthrough came after Slovakia reached an agreement with Brussels on phasing out Russian gas. Thanks for watching this week's Summary of the Week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay informed.